some garlic. Hi. Hello, wherever you might be. I'm Mark Allen, and welcome to Mark Allen Cooks Your Dinner. We're going to have a great time today. It might be a little bit scary. In fact, our dish today potentially could be a psychological thriller because the author of Id, a novel, is our guest chef. His name is Kevin Spark, and we go down under. We're going to go to Australia right now, live here on Mark Allen Cooks Your Dinner. Don't go away. This is exciting, folks. We've never gone to Australia before. I'm continuing my slicing. Listen, there's a book out. I think it should be a movie. We'll find out. Maybe it will be. We're going to go to Kevin Sparks in Australia. We'll find out what city he's in. Before we do that, I just want to mention that our garlic and our onions are from Melissa's. We thank Melissa very much for that. We have some other produce today, and next week, boy, is Melissa going to have to send us stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, Robert. We really appreciate you. Now, let us go and meet our new friend, Kevin Spark from Australia, actually. Kevin, welcome to Mark Allen Cooks.
Hey, Mark. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, our pleasure. Listen, I got to tell you, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast in California, where we are, where our studio kitchen is. And what time is it for you in Australia? And what city are you in?
Well, we're not too bad. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're in Brisbane,
In Brisbane. Oh, okay. Well,
which is
we
Queensland. So we're in the really hot part.
so what's your temperature going to be like today?
Today, I think it's going to be around about 32 degrees C.
Let's see. So we're going to be about 63 degrees Fahrenheit. And
What would that be in real money when you
I don't
convert it?
know. I
Because
and but
I'm going to have a look on my app.
oh,
'Cause it's like,
you could translate it for us.
I will, yeah, because it's either way, it's bloody hot.
It's
That's
yes, it is.
that's how.
It's got to be in the 90s or late 80s there. We
Yeah.
always start our show. We have been being very good and having a dry January and February. This is the last day of February 2024. I have
Leap
a
year.
huh?
Tomorrow's the
It's
last
leap
day.
year. Hey, if you're
Tomorrow's the last day.
tomorrow is the last day, but this is the last show of February. Um, if you if you're born on February 29th, does that mean you only get to age every 4 years? Don't know.
That's right. Yeah, because you would only be. That would put me at.
I'd be 16. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'd be 12.
And
That's
well, and according to Carol, I am indeed Neil Grace. Hello
Oh,
there.
he's got the temperature.
Neil Grace has already done it. It's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, thanks, Neil. I appreciate that a lot. Uh,
that that makes it sound hotter.
yes, it does. Um, we're going to do a little toast. I'm drinking a Pinot Noir. It is a One Hope, and it's really a very nice wine. You're going to be drinking.
Well, I
I
happen
don't
to
know.
have a bottle of just here. I can open it. It's early, but
It's early.
how often do you
It's,
get to be on a cooking show in the United States? So
and just so everybody knows, Kevin is a creative director and a freelance creative director. He works on ads and does things like book covers. And we're going to toast. Uh, what's an Australian toast? Good day? I don't know.
well, get probably just down the hatch.
Down the hatch. All right.
They tend to waste time toasting. They just get on with it.
And this came from
That's
was a
good.
gift from Faye Levy, and we appreciate that a lot. All right.
All
It,
right.
it,
Well, that's a 2021 Merlot.
oh, is that what you're
Uh,
drinking?
yeah, from the Baroque.
Got it.
So that's not bad actually. That's
It's
pretty tasty.
sideways. Yes, we're thinking sideways. There's Pinot, right, and Merlot in Sideways, the movie.
And he hates the Merlot.
That's right. Yeah.
He hates the
Well,
Merlot. And I like
that's
it
right.
all. I like it all.
Merlot's for the uncultured, isn't it? Because it's for people who can't tell the difference.
Ah, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
before we start, let's talk about Id, a novel, if we could. Um, and you wrote it. Not only did you write it, you designed this beautiful book cover as well. Um,
Yeah.
do, in your spare time with your family, your boys, your wife, your bicycling, whatever else you do, do you write like everyday fiction?
I try to, probably not every day, but I try to be quite disciplined because I think the average book is about, because if you break it down to the most simplest components, like the average book is around about 80,000 words or 90,000 words. Uh, and if you write 1,000 words a day, you'll write a book in about 3 months. It's almost impossible to do that for me anyway.
Right,
But I think every little step forward is brings you closer to the end. And there are some days where I can get completely lost in it. But I think if you're not if you're not writing, you can lose your own threads and you lose that momentum. So you're not as involved with the characters as normally as you could be
right.
if you sort of take time off and distance yourself. I tend to look at it in chunks because I'm writing another one at the moment, and I'm about a third, just over a third of the way through, and it's hit a sort of a kind of end
Plateau.
of no, no, not plateau. It's more of a sort of end of Act One,
Got it.
because a good story has really got four main components to it. It's got the intro, the the conflict, the resolution, and the conclusion.
I think that your next one should be a rom com because that's what I like. Okay, we're going to start cooking now too because you like to cook, and we want to say hi to Howard Sandler. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And what is the essence of it about? We're going to find that out, Neil, as we talk about it. Um, and it might be a little bit scary, just like this
It's
recipe. Okay. Now, this is a recipe that, first of all, I have to just a little background. Um, Kevin is actually from England, met his wife in the Middle East in Israel, and then I guess you immigrated back home. You followed your wife back home to Australia.
absolute. Well, no Australian will ever live in England long term. I don't think because the weather's just so incredibly oppressive and just miserable. When they say about what's the kind of color of England, it is grey. It's just an unpleasant, relentless drizzle. And when you come out to Australia, I think the Australian weather is wasted on the Australians because they don't understand or get the profound difference it makes having a sky that feels actually several miles above your head as opposed to about a couple of meters, which is what it's like in England. So
Yeah,
after
we were in England, and I tasted lots and lots of Indian food, which I love.
oh
I
yeah,
dearly love in takeaway form, right? It's takeaway. I'm back here at our stove. I'm going to turn on our stove right now. I'm going to drop in a little bit of olive oil, and we'll smear that around a little bit, and then I'm going to let that heat up. And while I'm letting it heat up, we're going to make a little bit of an egg batter. So I'm going to have Kevin direct me I'm going to break some eggs first, and hopefully.
Yeah.
And if you're a vegan or vegetarian and you don't eat eggs, there are many egg substitutes, and you can use those. Um, they'll work fine. We're making a fajita, um,
Frittata.
frittata, frittata, um, uh, a frittata. And my favorite frittata story, Kevin, just so you know, is in a movie with Harrison Ford, where he hosts a morning show and he shows everybody how to make a frittata.
I
Right?
I know I know the movie. He's a very serious news reporter, and ends up on breakfast time TV. Yeah.
Yes. And I've never been a I've been an anchor, news anchor, and I'd rather do a morning show and cook. All right, I've got 3 eggs in here. It kind of looks like Mickey Mouse to me. I don't know
Oh
if you
yeah.
see that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, chuck in
Right.
the milk um, and give them a good. Oh, and the mayonnaise actually.
Got it. All right.
So the mayonnaise is you won't taste the mayonnaise. All it does is it adds a sort of slightly more creamier texture to eggs.
Got it.
It's not good for your cholesterol, but it tastes really good. So if you're doing scrambled eggs or just a
That's a
regular
great
omelette,
idea.
whack in just a spoonful of mayonnaise because mayonnaise really is just egg, isn't it? It's just an egg yolk. So you're not really adding anything different, but it does make it nice and creamy.
Okay. Now I've got
You,
that done, but let's go back over here. Our oil
or
has
you'll have to
set
give
up.
that a harder whisk, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's a bit on high. So I'm going to throw in garlic first.
Um, probably the chorizo first. Well, maybe the onion actually. Onion and garlic first. Yeah.
All right, onion, and then we'll throw in the garlic. And we changed the recipe just a bit. Carol, can I have a wooden spoon, please? Um, the recipe calls for chorizo, and there are several kinds of chorizo. There's a one that you can buy that's pre-cooked, and that's from Spain. And then you've got raw chorizo, and I'm not a fan of raw chorizo. So I bought a chicken Italian hot sausage link. I approved that, got that approved by Kevin first, as I made a change to his recipe, which will be posted on YouTube at youtube.com/Mark Allen Cooks Your Dinner tomorrow. If you have any thoughts or comments, let us know. We'll talk about the book in just a second.
Yeah. So when that starts to sort of brown a little bit, you would add the chorizo actually because the sausage is raw, isn't it, Mark?
Yes, so I should throw that
Yeah.
in maybe now too.
Yeah.
So
Chuck that in now. Yeah.
what I did was I put this into little chunks, and I did that. It is in a casing, and this is a chicken. Well,
Yeah.
there,
And it's
there.
probably worth chucking in the chili. Did you get? Oh no, you got jalapenos, didn't you?
Yes, I have. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you might not want to throw
I'm
them all
not
in.
going to put them all in.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey, comments from the peanut gallery. Get over here and cook.
No way.
I know. All right,
Not on camera.
not on camera. The secret voice behind Mark Allen. All right, I'm going to turn this up. It is up quite a ways. There. All right, we're going to let that cook a little bit. I'm going to come back here. I want to find out a little bit more about Id, the novel. Um, this was, thank you, Carol. I have no id, apparently. It's been hidden. So, Kevin, um, the book has been described to me as a psychological thriller with
Yep.
maybe a touch of horror in it.
It's probably more than a touch. It's a bit of a mix between
I
psychological thriller, bit of horror thrown in. I think it's if you like Clockwork Orange, Altered States, and American Psycho, and put them in a blender, that's probably closer to what you'd expect. It's probably not for everyone. I mean, there's certainly mildly disturbing bits to it. So if you like your horror or your stories fairly confronting, then yeah, you probably get a lot out of it. But it very much delves into the sort of psychological aspect of why we do the things that we do. So it's called id because it's based on that Freudian principle of id, ego, and superego.
got it.
And for anyone who's not familiar with that, the id is your primordial drive. That's the thing that sort of
Well,
ignites your passion.
in creating the book, in writing the book, is your wife was your wife? I'm sure she was supportive, but was she afraid because she said, "Wait, this man that I've married and loved for all these years wrote this book, and it's scary as hell."
Actually, that's a really interesting point because I've had obviously friends of mine have read it and they always sort of say, "Wow, I didn't think you were like that." But you often say, "Well, it's right. If you're a writer and you write about serial killers, it doesn't mean to say you are one. Like Stephen King's probably the most prolific sort of horror writer, and like I'm a massive fan of Stephen King. But from what I understand, he's a really lovely bloke,
Yeah,
and you sort of expect that. I mean, I think as I sort of said in the book, there's nothing more creative than cruelty in a way, but from a writer's perspective, it's a very cathartic thing to do, and it's always interesting to sort of delve into that dark side because the act of writing is you can do what you like.
yeah, but the act of writing is also very lonely, and if you come up with a something with like a serial killer or you know something coming out of the woodwork other than plumbing, some really scary beast or something. um, isn't that beast really inside of the writer? Woo!
It it is, but it's inside all of us because that's the essence of the story actually. Because how many times have you been cut up in traffic or something's happened where you've felt like chasing that person down, or you've really thought, oh, I really want to do something here, but you pull back. What pulls you back is your superego. That's the morality, the ethical constraints of your site of your makeup. The
Well, that's
your
because some people, most people who have those thoughts, I'm going to kill that person, but they don't knife them 42 times. They have that super ego that
ego.
stops them. The
Yeah,
super to stop that. Is that
but
the
you
name of the next book, by the way?
what's
S-
that?
Super. Let's go back and take a look over here at our sausage. It is cooking up nicely.
That's looking pretty good. Oh, you want to get the mushrooms in actually?
I'm sorry.
The mushrooms they'd have to go
Ah,
in as well. Don't forget about them.
put the mushrooms. They're right here. We have tomatoes to go in here.
Um, yeah, just add the tomatoes after the egg.
Ah, okay. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start our. Um,
No, that's the lower one.
ooh, you're right. Thank you. We'll get our oven heated.
We have a comment.
Oh, Neil, a writer's imagination is unlimited. It doesn't necessarily reflect the intrinsic makeup of the writer.
Well, that's
Neil,
right.
of course, Neil is a friend. He watches our show. He is a poet. He is the poet laureate of Mark Allen Cooks. Just you know, you haven't written a poem about us. We could recite the poem each and every week, Neil. All right, let's take a look at what we're doing here. This is a dish,
So,
as I said. Um,
that's looking pretty good. You might want to start adding the eggs, actually. Mark.
all right. Now it's interesting. If you look over here at the eggs, that's the the
Very
mayo
nice.
has come, and the milk has come to the top. So I'm gonna
So you just
give it a
give it a real
whisk.
be, yeah,
Now,
be
should I
brutal.
just pour this in gently, or should I whisk it in?
Oh no, pour it in gently. That's okay.
Just pour it in. Here we go.
Yeah, and just do it all around. So the trick is just to, with a spatula, just to very gently keep it in one piece. Oh, don't stir it. Don't beat it. No, you got to be gentle with it.
And I have a spatula here. Now, should I
So
stir
nice.
a little bit?
So it's like an omelette. So very gently, just lifting the edges, because otherwise you'll scramble it.
Okay.
So this is where it can go really badly wrong. So now you'd want to add the tomatoes on top.
All right. Now, do I mix those in or just keep them up on the top?
Oh, sorry, I was going to say sprinkle them on.
There we go. And then
And
we
then just
spinach as well.
yeah, and then just probably a few leaves of spinach actually, and just sprinkle it on, and that'll reduce actually. That spinach will contract with the heat.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the oven, I think.
Yeah, well put the parmesan on as well.
Ah, okay. And we like a lot of Parmesan. Again, there are Parmesan substitutes, so it doesn't have to be milk. And I'm going to sprinkle this on. That.
And then over at the edges, and oh yeah, get it over the
Yeah.
on the outside as well. That's looking pretty nice actually, Mark.
Come on over. There's plenty.
So that should really have cooked enough where you can lift up part of the one edge and it'll hold together.
Now, should I do that? I should do that now. And I can see that it is, yes. It's
Yeah,
going to hold up.
that's okay. That's looking good. So yeah, you can whack that in the oven for a couple of minutes.
I should leave this here for a few minutes? No.
No, put it in the oven.
All right, here we go. Oven. Now, if you do this at home, be very careful because it's very hot. No, I didn't. Thank you, Carol. And because the handle is going to be super, super hot. Can I put that, Carol, right here on the tile when I take that out? Yeah. Okay. I just want to clean a little bit because I spilled.
Maybe move the
Yeah.
So
There.
if you have a look in the oven now, Mark, it should be starting to rise a bit. It's a little bit like a souffle. It'll rise when you take it out, it'll deflate, but when it's in the oven, the heat will sort of help to sort of bring it up.
I'm going to take a peek. Oh yeah. Oh boy. This is going to be good.
How's it looking?
It's looking quite lovely. I think the spinach needs to cook a little bit. The cheese is already melted, and
Nice.
it should taste really, really well. You're a people person, Kevin. I mean, we don't know each other well. We met a few days ago. Um,
Yep.
would you call yourself a people person?
Oh, I think you have to be when you work as a designer. You have to be, and I think even anybody who works in the creative industries, I would say, is a people person because you have to have an understanding of what people like, what makes them tick, what are their triggers, and certainly in design advertising, that's really crucial because you do focus groups to find out if you're doing an ad or a piece of packaging or whatever. It's got to be something that people like because you're representing a company with your design work and
When
the,
when
the
you
paint.
do a focus when you do a focus group and they say, "Oh, that's not very good," doesn't that get you right here?
It's wow, that's an interesting experience with a focus group because the you're not allowed to say anything.
Yes,
You you know,
they.
and
I was hosting
I've
something years ago, and um, they came out and didn't like my co-host at all. But and he was devastated. He was absolutely devastated, and me, of course. Well, they didn't like me much either. All right, let's. We're going to take a look see over here at the oven. Okay. Everything. I think now it's not brown, so it should brown in the next minute or so. Do you find? I find writing. I've written a book. I've started a second. It's very painful for me because I like being with people, but writing is lonely, isn't it?
well, well, I don't think it's for everyone. I don't find it lonely because I work from home anyway. But I'm surrounded by all these characters that you get involved with, and you're controlling their lives. So it's not really that lonely. I don't think. Um,
It's when
and
they
there's
start talking. Do they start talking back to you, Kevin? That your wife and I'll have to, take you to the padded cellar.
well, they will argue about the direction I take them in. They have a mind of their own. I think when you construct a good character, that character should really, in part, be in charge of what they want to do because there's stuff what I found when you write is there's if you know the ending and you think, all right, I've got to get character uh, from point A to point B, and to do that, I'll introduce a couple of little plot points. Well, some of those plot points are maybe irrelevant to that character, so it's got to be really. You've got to think, well, would that character really do that? And if they wouldn't, then you've got to allow them to be sort of who they are, really.
So I mentioned at the top of the show that I thought this should be a movie. Are we?
Yeah, it's well, I'd love it to be a movie. It was actually originally a screenplay,
Ah,
and it's a long story because it was originally a screenplay and it was picked up by Fox Television, but the deal fell through partly because of lack of management on the production side. Um, and it sort of languished in development, what's euphemistically known as development hell for a while. So once all the rights reverted back to me, I sort of tinkered around with it, and I've had a few sort of not concrete offers, but quite a bit of interest in it. And it was my wife that suggested I write it as a book, um,
we're going
and
to
that
take
was
this out. We're going to take this out, Kevin.
yep.
By the way, Neil said that doing writing, like you guys do, is gives you a a look at your inner self. This smells amazing. It really does. Take a look at this, folks. Okay.
Oh, that's looking
It's,
good.
yes, it's puffed up a little bit. It is
Yeah,
very hot, so be careful. I'm
nice
going to.
job. Yeah, no, well done. That's looking. I wouldn't mind a slice of that. That's looking pretty damn good.
I was gonna use a real sharp knife, but I don't think I need to. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so that should stay together. You should just be able to sort of ease that out of the pan.
Almost like a. Oh yeah. Take it. Oh yeah. Oh, the
Yeah, so
whole.
no,
Like, you wanna get
a
a bigger
nice wide spatula, you should just be able to ease it out.
Here, let me get a bigger plate. Before we started, Kevin told me that this was a very casual um, dish, and this is a very casual show. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm not doing it that way. I'm gonna. I need this.
just ease it out off
Just slide it out.
the slide down the plate.
Mm.
All right, let's see what happens. Use this to maybe help.
Oh, oh.
Oh, you'll need a big spatula just to get underneath it and give it a bit of.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Can you?
Because years ago I worked in a kitchen. Now that's there you go. So just get it right underneath all the way to the center,
Like
and then that should just ease out.
like that?
Yeah,
Well,
and just keep.
I don't want to break it.
Is the whole thing loose? Loosen the whole, all the sides, go all around the pan.
Yeah, that it's not that. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what happens. This may be upside down.
So just slide half.
No. This is where Carol usually does the work.
It did look great.
Well, you're down under, right?
Oh, it looks all right. That's going to taste pretty sensational, though.
Oh, I can't wait. Mm. Ooh, it smells so good. Um, I'm going to wait just a second or two because it is steaming hot. But let's see.
Oh,
Robert Schuler, thank you. It looks great. I should have maybe. I'm not sure what I should have done, but it should have. Hmm? Yes, that's Robert Schuler from Melissa's, and I thank you very much. Good, and we appreciate it. Some of the produce today was from Melissa's, and wait till you see the list I've got for you next week, Robert. Next week we have Barbara Weller, and she's got an anti. She's going to be showing us some anti-aging cooking, and we're going to be doing some roasted parsnips with. Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, I got to
Sounds
taste
pretty.
this.
one more time.
Oh, okay. Yes, good. Yeah, very good. Yes, good colors with the produce. All right, I've got some egg, and even though this is Kevin's recipe, I always take credit if it's good. Fabulous. Mm, 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 mm.
So those eggs should be pretty silky smooth, actually.
Oh, they're delicious. Parsnips, Robert says, are the humble root, and Carol really, really loves parsnips, and I do too. They've got a sweetness to it, and we're going to roast them. Oh, very, very good. All right, this is an easy, easy recipe. Anybody can do this. I've
Yeah.
got a hunk of a mushroom here. No, that's not mushroom. That's the Italian sausage. Thank you. I can't stop eating. One more bite. So, This is great. Of course, I turned it upside down. Um,
It looked. I don't know, Mike. It looks pretty good. I'm kind of jealous that I'm not there right now.
well, you should be. It's quite good. Thank you. Um, you and I talked about English cooking, and you grew up in England, and you worked in kitchens, going through university.
Yep.
Will you come back and do a an English dish with us? Let me
Oh,
rephrase that. A tasty English dish, because you told me that English food is underappreciated.
well, it's it's a good way of putting it. Um, I think there's a lot. Well, there are tasty English foods. But the best stuff is things like fish and chips. But I reckon to do a full English breakfast is a real knack to that. That's a real skill, which is bacon, eggs, mushroom, sausage, and beans, and getting them out so they're all hot at the same time is quite a skill.
You know what's my favorite part of fish and chips? The pickled onion.
Oh yeah,
Right? You have to have the pickled onion. And
yeah, yeah.
yes, Chef Kevin has given us a great breakfast, but this is also something that could be uh, um, eaten
Evening meal.
at an evening meal. It really is. Kevin, thank you very much. I'm going to put you in the green room. Don't go away. Um, thank you for watching, everybody. We really appreciate all your comments. Um, Over the next couple of weeks, we know we'll have many more comments. This last month and a half, we've had almost 20,000 downloads of our shows, and we just we're humbled by that. Listen, thank you very much. Next week, Barbara Weller is going to join us, and I cannot wait, because besides being a beautiful woman inside and out, she's going to share some really great vegetarian uh, dishes with us. We're going to be doing two dishes, and parsnips are at the top. Thank you very much for watching, Carol. As always, thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.